I got a phone call from Lee and Annie Schafer, and so now we get to do the Vista.
Right now, it's kind of a blank slate and a little bit cold. It's got the concrete and the dry walls.
We'll have the strip here, and it'll pull it off the wall and it'll give it more depth.
Yeah.
Today we're at the Shah's house, and we're going to be looking at the basement space where they're hoping to build their wine cellar.
We've got about 500, maybe 700 bottles of wine, so I'm looking for something that will hold that much.
These two walls, I think that whatever we do here, we'll do there, so that they are just simple, reflecting of each other.
They get to come in and hopefully be excited, be impressed.
Hey. Stop it right now.
Wow. Pearson Company is my dream. I get to live it every day, along with my talented team of designers.
You never know what's going to come in the door or who you're going to work with.
What I love doing is being that person that can walk in and say, absolutely, I get your dream, and we can make it happen.
I'm the new kid on the block, and I'm looking forward to blowing people's minds.
I've never been in a place that was as creative as this environment is.
The Shah project, they're a great couple, and what I like about PB and Shrew was this. PB collects all kinds of amazing wine.
I like them already. My kind of man.
Here's the thing about a wine cellar. Wine cellars can be one of the most expensive things in the room. There's all these components that go into an actual wine cellar that's authentic. Brad, we have voted you on the island. Okay. You are now going to be a participant. And then what else we got? I got a phone call from Lee and Annie Schafer. Okay. And so now we get to do the Vista.
Yay.
So that means you and I get to go and have a nice meeting at the Loft. That's it.
Already.
Okay. So let's go change the world. How about that? All right. Or change someone's room.
Yeah.
We're downtown, and we're in the metropolitan side of Nashville, which is called the Gulch. And we're working with Lee and Annie Schafer. So it's going to be a fun unit, and above all, hear their ideas and get it worked out. I guess they're in here.
I think so. Hello.
Knock, knock.
Hello, welcome.
Hey, how are y'all? Good to see you. How are you? So, how are you?
Good seeing you again.
I love this area.
It's just such a unique property in Nashville. It just shows off the city so wonderfully.
You know, first and foremost, we've got this great view. We're here on the edge of downtown. We want this to be a place where we can entertain, where we can relax.
You know, the challenges to this loft, it's just a large open space, and they want it to be versatile and functional, but they want it to be hip and cool. So trying to get the layout right will be key here.
Right now, it's kind of a blank slate.
It is a blank.
And a little bit cold. It's got the concrete and the dry wall, so I really like the idea of trying to introduce some warmer materials.
I could come up with an idea for this wall. You know, something with some stone, you know, that slate that I love, where it's stacked and it comes in different dialogues. You know, to where it kind of starts to form this entrance. What do y'all think?
I think that sounds great.
And then we've got these columns, and we have 2 of them.
Wood could work there, whether it was a stack wood or something that they could treat.
It kind of wraps it.
Yeah.
Listening to Lee speak, both he and Annie have concerns about those columns. So do I. They're obtrusive, they're big, but I like the idea he has about wrapping them in wood. They'll become more of an anchor in the room versus being an insult. You know, I love the idea of some kind of tapas, kind of casual aspect here. You can kind of sit and have drinks or hors d'oeuvres.
And just flowing right into the other space here.
Flowing into that space, flowing in that space. This kind of becomes that eye candy when you first walk in the room to introduce what's happening over here. I do see a sort of sofa love seat over here. I see this room floating, a chair. I think placement of furniture is going to be key. So the worst thing I can do is put the furniture and the sofas in the wrong place and absolutely rip off that they've got the impeccable view of Nashville. The other thing too is the kitchen's a big deal in a loft project like this, because how do you see your storage, you know, and taking this kitchen, how do you see, are we going to work with an island like this, or do you want to do something different? What are your thoughts?
I think opening it up a little bit, not having such a big block of furniture. Again, we want to really create something that's spacious. Maybe some kind of industrial table.
Just because you're in a condo building doesn't mean you can't make it personal. You can't make it about you. You know how we are, we love our heights.
Right.
But I want to build around the cabinets. You know, I want to bring in something, whether it be an extension of the cabinets or some sort of beam thing. This pantry to me, I just could see it leaving. Really, how much are we going to get in there?
I don't think we would use the pantry at all.
I think that we can use some creative ways for storage with the industrial table, maybe use some storage under that.
I really enjoy working with clients who give us a little bit more flexibility on actually changing some of the structural elements in the space. So the fact that we're going to do something really neat to the columns and kind of revamp the kitchen, I think it's going to be pretty amazing.
Today we're at the Shah's and we're going to be looking at the basement space where PB is hoping to put in the wine cellar. And I'm really looking forward to this job. It's a challenge because it'll be my first time to do a wine cellar, so I'm up for it.
Well, Deborah, Brad, I can't wait to show you my wine cellar.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I really did not know as we were designing the house whether or not I was going to have a wine cellar. But as we got into it and as the plans for the basement came about and started taking shape, there was a space that was sort of wasted. And I immediately told Charu, that's my space. I've got about 500, maybe 700 bottles of wine, so I'm looking for something that will hold that much.
Got you. Let's start looking at then the layout in this room. This is our largest wall here.
Okay.
So, you know, this might be, and it's across from the door. So we may look at this being our focal point of the room.
So could we have a bar type setting here, maybe some glasses?
I'd love to do that. And we may even bring in some lighting. We may get them to do some lighting here.
LED lighting maybe? Or
Yeah.
That would be awesome. I really like LED because it's both sustainable and it yet looks very, very natural and nice. So,
well, in a room that you got to keep cool too, it doesn't put off a lot of heat.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's really a great point too.
I think PB really has a vision for where he wants this room to go. This is his space, it's his haven, and so he's invested in what that outcome is. And so for me here, it's about working with a client when the stakes are high and you want to make sure that you just nail it. So if we're looking at this here being our focal wall, where we'll have our bigger display place, then we're going to come in and these two walls, I think that whatever we do here, we'll do there so that they are just simple, reflecting of each other. We'll look at doing a small focal point over here. Not as grand as whatever we decide to do here, but something that gives the walls interest. You know, this is a small space, and so the key to getting a lot of bottles in, but not making it look like just a library full of bottles, is to have some focal points. And so we're gonna have some archways, some accent lighting, and give an opportunity for there to be different nooks and spaces in the room of interest to the eye and also usable for them. So I'm going to let you know that I've never done a wine room before.
Now you're telling me?
But I'm confident. You know, I wanted to get a feel for what you need in the room. Then we'll go back and we'll research and get exactly what you need. You know, as a designer, I absolutely love a good challenge. And so to be stretched to do something new, it's what makes my job exciting. I just hope PB loves it.
Katie and I are meeting our contractor, Derek, at the Schafer Loft. He's a really talented contractor, and I have a few projects that I wanted to take a look at. These columns are just gray.
Yeah, you had mentioned about, you know, doing some kind of slatting or something with wood, so, you know, I brought this by with a couple stain samples. We put some furring strips down here so I have something to nail to.
Okay.
You know, all around. We paint the whole thing black, so it kind of goes away.
Right.
Nice. And then, you know, this isn't actually going to work here, but we'll have the strip here, and it'll pull it off the wall and give it more depth.
Yeah.
This is the spacing you're thinking?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I love the idea of painting everything black, so it's just, it goes away, it's like a shadow.
It's going to be great.
I love it.
First of all, Derek always comes prepared. I love that he did a sample. It really made it easier for me to determine that's the way we need to go. They want to use what's here. Okay, so we want to keep the body of the cabinets. They want to change appliances.
Right.
Okay, I felt like we need to do something that above all gives the volume and takes everything up. so the cabinets don't seem like they're real low. I want to come in and do some sort of beam. Okay. Again, modern, sleek, organic. If I come in and remove this pantry, one, can I?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm not going to mess myself up structural. I've got a concrete ceiling.
I mean, there's no electrical switches or anything, so it'll be good.
Can we even get this in the building?
Do you want just like a faux beam? I mean,
faux beam sounds good.
Or like a hollow style, so that it gives the illusion, but it's not that much weight on the wall.
So you think you can tackle this, can you?
Oh, yeah.
The Shahs have come in today to choose the materials that we'll be using in the wine cellar. Not only is it my first wine room, it's the first presentation of the renderings, and so I hope I've listened to them and they're gonna love what they see. Basically, what we have here, this is the layout of your wine room. We've got an arch on the back wall where you can set some wine out. It's lit so that, you know, it looks nice when you walk in.
Tell me a little bit about what finishes are we going to use?
Well, let's look at, we've got a bunch of different options that we can do here. So we have basically an unfinished pine option. We have an unfinished redwood option.
I love that, and the red. I really love the red.
And then we get into the stained pine and stained redwood.
I'm leaning more towards those, but...
The redwoods, they're absolutely beautiful. The biggest difference that you're gonna see in the unfinished versus the stained is just there'll be more variation in the tone in an unfinished, where you get the blonde and you get the red.
Oh, okay.
And in a stained, it's gonna even out that tone. You're still gonna get that great red. You know, I think that there's a give and take between clients and designers in meetings. There are a lot of things that a client sees that they like, but when you start piecing it together for how it's gonna work in the room, it may not work for their function. When you open that door, what is the feel that you want in the room? Do you want it to be a little more sleek? You know, keep the finishes simple,
more modern,
clean lines, modern, or do you want it to feel like you're down in a basement?
Well, I'm all for the sleek and the contemporary look.
Sure.
Yeah.
And we have some great flooring options.
We have the grays, we have the natural stones, but if we went into a deeper tone, it'd probably give you the feel of that warm, rich room, but give you this sleek tile feel.
This is going to work great. And these two seem to go really well together.
It brings in a lot of these warmer tones.
It really does.
So I'm sold on that.
So I propose a toast to many years in a wonderful, beautiful wine room that you guys will hopefully enjoy.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely.
Jonathan and I are getting ready to meet Annie to show her the layout for the loft. We're going to show her some fabrics, furniture, and some kitchen ideas that really give her that organic, warm feeling that she's looking for.
I want to start with the layout because I think the layout is key. I want to talk about placement. Here's just the general idea. I wanted to keep everything where you could sit down. So basically, even the coffee table becomes a stool for extra people if you have more people.
And I like the way that this, although it's open to the view, it's also open back towards the other entertaining space. I really like that.
So now we're going to play organic. What do you think of that?
Yes.
Look at this beauty.
I
You know, so that's what I want to put. You walk in, that's your wow factor on the walls, wraps around the corner.
It continues around that corner so that when you're in this seating space right here, there's still a part of that stone into that new space.
And it just draws you right around the corner.
Exactly.
And there's...
Totally.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which brings us to our next organic feature. Are you excited?
Tell me.
That's a log that's been slit and connected, and it got iron legs. Simple. Isn't that great?
Absolutely love. Must have.
I want to have some organic influences in the room, so I found the perfect table. Still always has that more metropolitan, modern approach, and I'm trying to dial it back a bit. And how I'm doing that is adding some beautiful organic woods and making sure that whatever is wrapped around the still is a warm texture, whether it be fabric or it be some sort of natural material. Picture this, wrapping those columns. Okay. He's going to attach this basically to them, but before he does that, paint them black, right?
Yeah, he said he was going to paint the columns black, paint the attachment boards black as well.
That is going to be so awesome.
My favorite part of the room is the kitchen now.
He is so excited about this kitchen.
Okay.
I really like this option.
Are those floating shelves?
Those are floating shelves.
That's where the pantry was.
Yes.
That's where the pantry was.
Okay, that is genius. What a great idea, getting rid of that pantry and putting in the architectural element of the floating shelves. Fabulous.
So this is what Jonathan was thinking for the island.
Love that. It's perfect. I love that it has this shelf on the bottom because we had talked about maybe trying to do some extra storage down there.
The island is exactly what they want. It floats, it's not heavy, it doesn't have a lot of walls. Add wood on the top, steel chairs. It'll be a great opportunity, one, to actually be function, but to serve and have guests there as well.
Everything just works so well together. I think I'm really getting a feeling of how everything's going to be pulled together and what the loft is really going to be like, and it's really thrilling.
Today we're at the Shah's. All of the wine racks have been installed. Everything is complete in the room except the accessories and the last few items in order to just finish off the space. And so Deborah and I are going to do that, and then we're going to call PB and Cheru and show it to them, and I'm so excited. Come on in. This is where the magic is.
This is a wine cellar.
This
What do you
is.
think?
Wow.
Is it not gorgeous?
Set up for me. This is really.
Oh yeah, you can put over 900 bottles in here.
Well, that's just about perfect.
Well, good.
And just about perfect.
And then, you know, we talked about all these different finishes. We went with the more modern floors. We did the stained redwood. I love that we did it on the walls and the ceiling.
Otherwise, just so enhances.
It is.
It does.
Yeah.
It really does.
It makes you feel fulfilled when you do all the work and you see everything come together, but when you actually realize that you have put together a plan that the client is happy and they're thrilled, you know, it makes all the difference. And at the end of the day, you feel good about it.
You know, we've got several serving areas in here built in, but what do you think about this table?
I just love it.
It's nice to bring in something that feels old, it feels aged, and so that table just really makes the statement. It invites you in, invites you to hang around and have some glasses of wine, and hopefully it's exactly what PB will want in the room.
I mean, it's a small space, but yet it is such a functional and a beautiful space that it's probably as good a wine cellar as I could have hoped to have.
PB, are you happy?
Oh, I'm just ecstatic, and this has turned out to be everything I imagined, and then some.
Well, that's good.
It's a beautiful room.
It's a very beautiful room, but really I've got $1 million question.
Okay.
When do we pour?
Well, hey, how about you do the honors?
I am very happy that PB has his room, his little wine cellar, and that I can keep him out of my kitchen. That's good for everybody.
We're at Lee and Annie's Loft, and today is move-in day. We're installing the room, accessories, lighting, and seeing all the finished stuff. Courtney, can you give me the Buddha head?
Yep.
Move-in day is my favorite day because it's the day that everything comes together. And now we're just a few hours away from the big moment where Lee and Annie are going to let us know if they like what we've done. This is super spiky. Watch your fingers. It actually is sharp.
Isn't that cool?
It is really cool.
Because Lee and Annie travel a lot, I wanted it to have a bit more culture and other influences from different areas of the world because they travel. And I really want to take advantage of that.
I'm not really sure why I wore heels today.
I don't know either. I was just thinking
I'm
that.
like desperately trying to get height every chance I can.
Now it's Lee and Annie time. They get to come in and hopefully be excited, be impressed, all the things the designers want to hear.
Hey, Jonathan.
Stop it right now. This is stunning.
You like it?
Are you kidding me?
You have introduced so many new materials and textures and colors into here. We went shopping. When I first walked into Loft, I saw the stone on the wall, which added new and unexpected texture that I had not seen before. And then, of course, came and saw the wood, the steel, and a lot of new materials that he's introduced, a lot of new textures to the space. It's really quite a bit warmer than it was before. I'm really blown away.
When we first came here, this space was a total blank slate. It was cold, it was hard, it had a lot of windows. But by adding stone to the walls, some wood on the columns, warming it up with paint, we've made it cozy. New kitchen. Here, look, no pantry.
No pantry. This is so rich and delicious. I
gotta come on in and
cannot
see
get
it.
over
Look,
this.
Look, see the new hood.
Oh, the hood, the bling.
backsplash.
The bling factor.
And what do you think of the beams?
Oh my
The
goodness.
beams turned out great.
They are so industrial
I love
and
the way you
perfect.
introduced the new materials in here, the steel, and the tile, and
And
the
the
wood.
wood. And then look at the industrial table with the baskets.
You got your storage.
2 stories.
This
What do you think of the
is
wood?
amazing. I just
love
love it. The contrast
Yep.
is just great.
It still feels like a loft, but it's also warm, which is, you've
Look
struck a
at the
good balance.
columns.
Yeah, the columns are really the thing. It gave us a bit more moodiness and warmth to the room. Architecturally, it took something that was obtrusive and then the way, it gave it a bit more
It just
style.
adds so much sophistication. It's just blowing me away right now.
I wanted to put steel in here because I felt like we needed it. I felt like it's part of urban living. It's kind of that edge you wanted, but I didn't want it to become so contemporary that it felt cold. So everything in here that has to do with steel worked out because we anchored it with something that either was wood or we anchored it with this velvet here. But what, again, pulls them back is, again, we're putting some organic and earthiness beneath it, and it keeps it not being so shiny.
The study is just really, really inviting. I like it a lot. I think we'll get a lot of use out of that space.
I was having a hard time envisioning how you were going to make these rooms flow together.
The key to this project was to take one large open space and create several clusters of seating. That way, you kind of have a room within a room without disturbing the flow.
I'm not sure exactly what I had in mind, but this is exactly what I hoped for.
We just love and are so proud of Nashville, and I think we're really going to enjoy being in the Gulch and being in a space that we're just so proud of. I just really think it's going to be something that we enjoy in the years to come.